Hello everyone, my name's Zoe and I'm an artist here on YouTube, so welcome to the video. Today I am trying out these coloured pencils from a company called Woomer. I'd seen a lot of these products from this company online, people trying them out on YouTube, so I was really happy to have received an email myself asking if I would like to try out their coloured pencils. Of course I said yes. Full disclosure, I'm not a coloured pencil artist, don't really know what I'm doing, but I have started using them more recently, so I was very happy to try these out. I will get more into the coloured pencils in a bit because there is something coming up I want to talk about first, and it was, well, beautiful colour selection, but that packaging there, so that is the sleeve off of the tins, and what really struck me as soon as I took it off was there was a colour chart inside, so I'm cutting that up. It didn't actually fit in the tin, but I do trim it down a bit later to make it fit. So I thought this was a genius idea. The only thing that was a problem with it was I felt that it was a bit too smooth to be used as a colour chart, and I think an improvement could be maybe some rougher cardboard for that surround, or just put a colour chart in the tin rather than do that. But I thought it was a great idea. It just wasn't like rough enough to get enough pigment off the pencil so you could see how they look properly, but you know, it's fine for what I'm using it for, and I make my own colour charts anyway, but it's nice to have that in the tin. Another thing about that colour chart is it has the colour fastness rating for the pencils on there. Really impressed with that. You don't normally get that on a swatch sheet, so very happy with that. I think that's a great idea. Now, the reason why I don't use coloured pencils very often is because I like coloured pencil texture, but I do not like it when you can see the colour of the paper underneath when it comes through. So what I'm doing here is I am doing a base layer of alcohol marker and doing a really bad job of probably trying to hide the brand of marker I'm using, because this video is not about this brand, it is about Woomer. So this is essentially an underpainting I'm putting in, and it is to hide the whiteness of the paper when I'm using the colour pencils. So I just went for some quite light markers to do that. They didn't have to be dark, just enough to take that colour off the page. Yeah, so selecting my colours now. While I do this, I will talk to you about the pencils. So I had a look on Woomer's website and I looked up the listing for these pencils. They are oil and wax based. They have excellent colour light fastness, which, while I haven't tried the light fastness, going by the chart that states what they are, it does certainly look like they have very high level light fastness, which is fantastic. And also important for sketchbook work, but if you are planning on selling art or just displaying it in your own home, you want something that's going to stand the test of time. So you want you want a supply that's going to not fade too quickly in the natural light. But yeah, so it's something you definitely need to pay attention to when creating art that is going to be exposed to light a lot of the time. So they are soft, so soft lead and smooth to use, which is very true. They are very soft to the point I was a bit worried they might crumble, but actually the lead is incredibly strong and I didn't get any breakage even when I was pressing really hard. I didn't break a lead from over sharpening, I didn't break a lead while colouring, so they're super strong lead. They're highly pigmented, you can see that here while I'm using them, and they blend and layer well, so yeah, I agree with all these points. They seem really like good and as described. There was one con that I want to talk about with these, and that is more me, not the pencils themselves. I feel they're thinner than average, definitely thinner than pencils I have normally used when I've used them, and this did cause me to get a little bit of hand pain when I was swatching, maybe not so much the actual artwork itself. So if you are a person who has issues with your hands when you're drawing, I would recommend some kind of hand support, or take regular breaks, or use the grips for pencils. I definitely feel like getting that sort of thing to help you with these pencils is worth it, because I think the pencils are really good. So, but that is more like my issues with my hands, not an issue with the pencils, but it is worth noting that they are on the thinner side. So if you have an issue, just you need to know how to overcome that issue. But that is it. Like they're really, really good pencils, and I really enjoyed using them. But yeah, so a little bit about the artwork. Losing my voice a bit. I really struggled with an idea. Well, not struggling with an idea. I struggled sticking with an idea. I've been drawing Pokemon for every day for well over a month. It's about 6 weeks now that I've been drawing Pokemon for one a day for the short. It's made my channel grow a lot, but it's been Pokemon every day. So I didn't want to draw Pokemon, but I had a lot of other ideas which I changed my mind on, which went through Minecraft to space art to all sorts of things. I decided to stick with what I'm used to drawing at the moment, and let's draw a Pokemon. So this is Mew. Mew is a Generation 1 Pokemon, so from the original lot when the game and the TV show was released in 1990-something, 96 or 97. Mew's a psychic Pokemon, and is my daughter's favourite Pokemon. So one of my ideas I did actually have, and because it was on the box, was like a drawing of a cat on a moon, which was the inspiration for this, because Mew is based on a cat. But then I was thinking, I don't want to draw a cat on a moon as well. So anyway, that is how we came about this. Mew is kind of perched on the moon, tail wrapped around it. Very, very cute Pokemon. Look at those eyes. But yeah, I think the colours that I used suited this illustration really, really well. I made a point was I didn't want to use black, and originally I wasn't going to use any black at all, but I did use a little bit in the character's pupils, but actually there is no other black. The piece is outlined in purple, and the shading, the darker shading, is, as you can see, in blue. So yeah, it was a little bit of an experiment for me. I've kind of stopped using, or very rarely now use, fine liners or brush pens for outlines. I really admired other artists using pencils for a long time for their outlines, and I had tried it previously with not much success. I think they're not so harsh, and I think there is a place for that kind of darker outline. And I've been doing it for years, don't get me wrong, and no one's ever said it looked rubbish. I think your tastes evolve, and what you want to do with your art evolves, and I wanted to tone my outlines down a bit and wanted to use less. Like, I love black in artwork, but I wanted to use less of it. I didn't want everything to have stark black outlines, so yeah, I'm really happy with this. Like, I think I chose the right colour to outline this piece. And with coloured pencil as well, you can like change your outline to suit the colour scheme you're using. So I nearly used blue, but then I was like, do you know what? No, I've got blue in the shading. There's blue in the eyes. I want to use a colour that I haven't used in it, but it's one that will suit it, which is why I went for this purple. But you could, if the piece was, say, green and orange, you could maybe have a red outline, or like a really dark green outline, something like that. So I like the versatility that you can get with using colour pencils for your line work. So really, this was a bit of an experiment for me. I keep buying coloured pencils that I don't use, so this kind of forced me to use them. Earlier on in the year, I bought a set of Holbein coloured pencils and was too scared to use them because they were expensive. And before that, I'd bought some Castle 72 Harmonious collection. It's on the floor next to me, which the colour palette seduced me, and I used once and I never used again. So maybe then like, I was sent these pencils, and of course I can't not use them. So yeah, it forced me to use them, and I had a lovely time. The piece was designed on my iPad first. I didn't sketch it. I've started doing that for like bigger pieces now. Like, if you see me doing like one big piece in a video recently, they generally have been drawn, well, the more complex ones, and to be honest, I can only think of two at the moment, but they've been drawn on my iPad and transferred over. Um, more simple stuff I have drawn straight onto the page, but this was drawn on my iPad first, which allowed me to play around a little bit with the composition of Mew to the moon. And then all I do is just trace it with tracing paper from my iPad and straight into the sketchbook. A thing I do usually do when I do this is to then erase the pencil that's come from the transfer, because graphite pencil can really muddy up your artwork if you're not careful, and I replace those graphite pencil lines with a coloured pencil line. The coloured pencil can be hidden easier if you choose a colour that kind of goes with the colour scheme anyway, and also it's not going to be... coloured pencil tends to be a lot more stable than graphite pencil, so it's not getting mixed in with your colours. And particularly as I was using alcohol marker, that can really smudge graphite. It can smudge colour pencil too, but when it does, it's not the tragedy it might be like it is with the graphite one. So I'm really sorry, I'm getting a bit croaky now, but I'm going to carry on. But yes, so what else can I say to you? I could tell you a joke. Yeah, the only thing is, like, I come in and I do a background. I didn't use the alcohol marker in the background because I wanted to see the difference between using the pencils straight on the page and using them with, like, the inverted commas, the underpainting. So I'll get to that soon, but you'll see. Oh, my hair was in the way, and my hair's in the way again. I wish I had done the underpainting now, but I didn't. But it does show you, like, that the texture you'll see when I do the background is why I don't like colour pencils. And a lot of people love that. I don't. For me, it's not for me. I like my colours to look. I like texture in my artwork. This is my guide to do my background. I like texture in my artwork, but I don't like the white showing through. So unless I'm purposely leaving blank spaces, like negative spaces. But yes, I just drew some stars in here. Sort of like, they are some negative spaces I'm just talking about. And then, yeah, I use two purples and a pink to do the background, which I am selecting there and using. The colour, yeah, I mean, the colour's really pigmented from the get-go. Obviously you can build up colour with them like any coloured pencil, but these do build up really quickly and very, very nicely. I think doing a background like this really shows you just how smooth, like, the pencil is to use, because you're using it quite a lot. Yeah, it's I don't know what else to say. Like, I really like these coloured pencils, and I'm very fortunate to have been sent a really good supply, because I've been sent supplies, not recently, but when I first started my YouTube channel, I did try, and they're companies I don't work with anymore, but I couldn't because their supplies weren't very good. And it's a bit like, oh man, I feel like I've got to say that these are good, and they're not, but, like, genuinely really love these. I think you can you can tell how good by looking at, you know, the piece, and I think, you know, I probably sound genuine because I am being genuine. And at this point as well, like, my channel is 4.5 years old, or 3.5 years old. I think I started in 2021. I won't say a supply is good if it's not now. Like, if I use a bad supply, I don't care if the brand sent it to me. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. If it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. And if I tell you a supply is bad and the company's not going to send me something again, then so be it. You know, I need to have a little bit of integrity, but genuinely, these are really, really good. And the colours are beautiful. Like, just look at those pinks and purples. I'm not going to comment on the yellows. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I don't like yellow. But not the biggest fan, you know that. But the pinks and the purples are just beautiful. And, you know what I really want to do? I think the next time I use these, I'm going to draw something with some, like, foliage and stuff, because I'm dying to use those greens. Really want to use more of those blues. Yeah. Actually, I would have liked to have seen in this set less yellows. I always want to see, yes, less yellow. There could be one yellow in a set, and I'd be like, I would like to see less yellows. I would like to see less of those yellows in favour of more blue greens. There's a couple of blue greens in there, but I would have liked more. Personal preference on colours. But that's the only thing I can say that I would prefer in the set is a couple more blue greens. But I love a green and I love a blue, and I'm sure I can mix them myself because they're very blendable. I'm just going around this now with a paint marker, brand's not disclosed, but you've probably seen already. I like to do a little white outline around my illustrations. But yeah, that is the piece. I very, very happy how it turned out. I really, really enjoyed using these coloured pencils. I was very surprised at myself. And it's really encouraged me to use coloured pencils more in my, because I am a mixed media artist. Like, I use alcohol markers and paint markers together a lot. And I have really wanted to start getting the coloured pencils involved as well with that, because I think those three supplies work really, really well together. So yeah, I'm going to be using them for that. If you are interested in this supply, and I do highly recommend them, they're a good value supply. There is a link below. There's two links below to them, to their official store and the US Amazon. If you look for Woomer coloured pencils, you can also find them on the UK Amazon as well, but I think they're a little bit more money. But yeah, have a look below. I think the official website has a discount code as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you so much to Woomer for sending these to me to try today. I had a great time. And until the next video, take care of yourselves and yeah, have fun.